Imagine this. It's the early morning of December 1st, 1948. The sun is rising slowly over Somerton Beach. The waves roll in quietly. The sand is cool. The city of Adelaide is just beginning to wake up. And leaning against a seawall, dressed in a perfectly pressed suit and polished shoes, is a dead man. No blood, no signs of violence, no witnesses to his final moments. Just a body. At first glance, he looks like someone resting after a long night. His head is tilted slightly to one side. One arm lies across his chest. His legs are stretched out calmly in front of him. But he isn't asleep. He's gone. When police arrive, they expect a simple case, perhaps a heart attack, maybe alcohol, something ordinary. What they find instead will become one of the most baffling mysteries in modern history. The man appears to be in his early 40s, strong build, clean-shaven, well-groomed. His clothes are high quality, a suit jacket, tie, pressed trousers, leather shoes. This isn't beach wear. This is how a man dresses when he wants to be taken seriously. Officers begin checking his pockets. There is no wallet, no identification, no driver's license, no passport, no money except a few coins, nothing that tells them who he is. And then they notice something disturbing. Every label has been carefully cut out of his clothing. Not ripped, not torn, cut. Every tag from every garment removed with precision. Someone didn't just forget his ID. Someone made sure he couldn't be identified. The body is taken for autopsy. Doctors search for trauma. There is none. They look for broken bones. None. There are no defensive wounds, no bruises that suggest a fight. Internally, however, things are strange. His organs are congested. His spleen is enlarged. His stomach contains traces of a partially digested pasty. The pathologist suspects poisoning. But here's the problem. In 1948, toxicology is limited. If he was poisoned, it was something subtle, something rare, possibly a cardiac glycoside or a fast-acting toxin that leaves little trace. The official cause of death? Inconclusive. And that word, inconclusive, will follow this case for decades. Police widen their investigation. They release photographs of the man's face. His fingerprints are taken and sent across Australia and internationally. No match. They check missing persons reports. Nothing. It's as if this man didn't exist. But then, weeks later, something changes. During a re-examination of his clothing, investigators discover a tiny hidden pocket sewn into the waistband of his trousers. It's the kind of pocket you wouldn't notice unless you were looking very carefully. Inside it is a small, tightly rolled scrap of paper. On it are two words, Tamám Shud. The phrase is Persian. It means, "It is ended." Police trace the paper to a book, a rare edition of a collection of Persian poetry called the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. The line comes from the final page of the poem. The page has been torn out. It's as if someone deliberately removed the ending and placed it in his pocket. Why? Was it a suicide note? A symbolic message? Or something else entirely? Police release information to the public, asking if anyone owns a copy of the book with the final page missing. Then, months later, a man comes forward. He says that around the time the body was found, he discovered a copy of the Rubaiyat in the back seat of his unlocked car. The book is examined. The final page is missing. The tear matches the scrap found in the Somerton man's pocket. But that's not the strangest part. Inside the back of the book investigators find a series of strange letters written in faint pencil. 5 lines of seemingly random capital letters. They look like a code. No one can decode it. Cryptographers examine it. Military intelligence looks at it. Amateurs try for decades. No confirmed solution is ever accepted. And beneath the code, faint but visible, is a phone number. The number belongs to a young nurse who lives only a few hundred meters from where the body was found. Her name is Jessica Thompson. Police bring her in for questioning. When she sees the plaster cast of the dead man's face, witnesses say she appears shocked, almost faint, but she denies knowing him. She admits she once owned a copy of the Rubaiyat years earlier and gave it to a man during the war. She claims she doesn't recognize the dead man, yet her reaction suggests otherwise. Was she hiding something, or was she simply startled by the coincidence? Investigators dig deeper. They learn that during World War II, Adelaide was home to military installations and intelligence operations. Some researchers later speculate that the Somerton Man may have been involved in espionage. The Cold War had just begun. Secrets were everywhere. And this man, with no identity, no records, no labels, and a possible coded message, fit the image of a spy too perfectly. Some suggest he may have been poisoned with a rare toxin used in intelligence circles, something untraceable, something clean. But there is no hard evidence. Years pass. The body is embalmed and buried in an unmarked grave. The mystery grows. Newspapers around the world pick up the story. The Tamám Shud case becomes a legend. Decades later, forensic science advances. DNA technology improves dramatically. In 2022, after years of effort, the body is exhumed. Scientists extract DNA from preserved air samples. Using modern genealogical databases, researchers begin building a family tree. Thousands of distant relatives are analyzed. Slowly, a name emerges. Carl/Charles Webb, an electrical engineer from Melbourne. Born in 1905, married but separated. He disappeared from public records around the time of his death. No death certificate had ever been filed for him. The physical description matches. The timeline fits. After 74 years, the man on the beach may finally have a name. But even if the identity is correct, the deeper mystery remains. Why was he in Adelaide? Why were his clothing labels removed? Why the coded message? Why carry the final words of a Persian poem that translates to, "It is ended"? Was it suicide? If so, why not leave a clearer note? Was it espionage? If so, why choose such a public location? Or was it something simpler? A broken marriage, loneliness, despair. Perhaps the message was personal. Perhaps it wasn't meant for the world to solve. Perhaps it was only meant for him. The truth is, even with a possible name, we still don't know how he died. We don't know why he died, and we may never fully understand what those final moments were like. A well-dressed man, alone on a beach, watching the sunset, carrying a message that said, "It is ended." Some mysteries are loud. They come with violence and chaos. This one is quiet, calm, almost peaceful. And maybe that's why it lingers, because somewhere in the silence of that Australian shoreline, a man erased himself from history. And for more than 70 years, the world has been trying to write him back in.